I paid $30 to be Master Chief in Rainbow Six Siege. That's a lot. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about some kind of feelings I've been getting since playing with that skin and seeing that skin. I think it's cool. I actually think it's a pretty cool looking skin. Like in game, it looks awesome. From the right angles, it's like, oh, sweet. Master Chief. I mean, look behind me, right? I love Halo, right? Like, I just love it. I also think the Halo Infinite Master Chief armor is S tier, dude. Like, I think maybe my second favorite armor, sometimes in some angles, in some scenarios, maybe my favorite Halo armor. It just hits all the right spots. It's really nice. And it translates to other stuff really well. Like the Fortnite Master Chief looks great. It looks great in this game. But yeah, it just gave me this weird feeling that I just kind of wanted to talk about. And I think that can be summed up as Halo is no longer sacred. Master Chief is no longer sacred. And I don't want to spin that as inherently a bad thing, as much as it's just a passing statement. It's a comment on how it be, you know? Back in the day, Halo was just number one. Bungie, it was so secretive. They just had everybody in the palm of their hand. The only company I think now that's like that is probably Rockstar. Notoriously difficult to get in touch with and just locked down, barring all the leaks. That sucks. I don't like leaks. I mean, it's really hard not to consume leaks, obviously, right? Because you're so curious, but it's like, I always feel for studios and developers and stuff who had all their hard work spoiled by leaks. I'm generally against that kind of thing. It sucks. Back in the day, Master Chief, you wouldn't expect to see any kind of crossover like that, right? Like, oh yeah, just like use Master Chief everywhere. Like, do you remember there was that game that was on the Halo engine and like that was a big deal, right? And that kind of thing doesn't really happen anymore. Which, you know, admittedly, even I thought Slipspace was going to be a good engine that you could just outsource to stuff or, you know, really grow off of. But as we've learned, Halo should really just go on the Unreal Engine. I'm all for competitors. I'm very for competition. But like, it's such a good engine, you know? And it's not 343's place to make an engine. Easy to say in hindsight, obviously. You know, again, I thought it was cool. Like, it's if you have the resources, you're Microsoft, do it, right? But alas, didn't work out. And it's pretty unfortunate what happened with Halo Infinite, because I still think it's a really, really good game. I've been replaying the campaign on co-op and just loving it, loving how it feels, especially on PC. I think it feels great. I love exploring in it. I think it's been fun walking new people through it and having them become reintroduced to the Halo story. And, you know, and I want more. I'm like, oh, you know, at the beginning, it was so good. Like, if you go back, you look at all these reviews on day one, like, yeah, heck yeah, this game's awesome. It feels right. It mixes the old with the new, and it has this bright future ahead of it. And, you know, Infinite fell apart in that future, in the sustain, in the ability to quickly react and release updates and solve issues and have cool new content. Halo 5 did that very well. The monthly content drops were sweet, new weapons and stuff like all the time, and we've been dying out here, you know? It does really make me sad. I know a lot of my buddies, they do feel sad when they play Infinite. Luckily, I don't get that. I still hop on, you know, I'm still playing. But even for me, right, what's left, right? Like, I feel like I've really done it all. I promise this is going somewhere. It made me realize that there are so many franchises that last a long time that fizzle out and don't have that same luster. And it gets you excited about new stuff. Star Wars is a perfect example of this. There's been such a long time of Star Wars being kind of at its best, good, all right, good, if that, and definitely, if not divisive. A lack of a coherent vision, probably a very prime factor in that. And I want to say that that's not a universal truth, that once something's, you know, 20 plus years old, some franchise, that like fizzles, but it kind of is. But that's not to say that these things can't come back. There are these ebbs and flows in art and entertainment, and that's something that's important to note through all this, is that art is subjective. For instance, there are people who would look at the statement I just made about Star Wars and say, everything Star Wars has made has been, heck yeah, has been amazing. Far too many people get caught up in the assuming things are objective. I've actually talked about this kind of thing a lot on my channels over my career. I'm just like an artsy guy, and I really appreciate that. Gaming can be pretty toxic in that regard. If you find something you like, play it. Starfield's a prime example of this, right? Like, I have been in love with Starfield. Starfield's my game of the year so far, and the numbers kind of support it, right? Like it's quite a popular game, and I've talked to a lot of people who feel the same way, and I've read comments from people who feel the same way, and then there's this like brigade of people who are like mad at me, mad at people who like something, and like that's a problem with our world, I think. Just things have to be so black and white, have to be so, I can't believe you like this thing, right? You're a piece of shit. You thought BB-8 was cool? I will come to your house. And that kind of thing has plagued, especially nerdy things, since forever, right? Like, it's such a gatekeepy kind of thing. Oh, but, Dave Filoni, though, saving Star Wars. Let's be very clear. The shows are awesome. So that's my point, is that things, they do come back. And it's like Halo, like, it's not gonna go anywhere, right? I always say, like, we will be long gone by the time they make their last Halo game. Like, that's not how things work. That's not how things work. Things will get rebooted and whatever forever, but like a franchise like that's just never going away. It's still so popular. Some people don't even play the games, really. They just buy tons of merch, right? Like, it's insane how big Halo is. It's one of the biggest gaming franchises out there. And so here I am playing Rainbow Six Siege as Master Chief, or seeing my teammate play as Master Chief. I have these weird conflicting emotions. I'm like, I love Halo. Master Chief, that's so awesome. But then I'm also like, what's Halo up to? You know what I mean? I'm playing as Master Chief in Rainbow Six Siege, or Fortnite, all right? Or a fighting game or something, right? And I'm like, sweet, we could just be playing Halo. If I felt the need to play Halo right now, if I felt the want, if I felt the drive, my passion was always, maybe that's not true, my passion's there for sure, but you know what I mean? So Halo and Master Chief no longer being sacred is a part of the industry at this point, right? Like, it's pretty much only Rockstar that's like that's so tight-lipped and so strict about their IP. And games like Fortnite that have just become advertising platforms, no matter how much fun you're having, right? It's a hyper-modern advertising platform, which is wild, right? Just to think about that. We've kind of just entered a whole new era of technology and entertainment and how we share these experiences. And that's something that just kind of happens. I've historically been very progressive on these kind of things, of trying new things, and, if they don't work, then not inherently going back, but adjusting them and yada, yada, yada. So I just see it from, a higher up view of just like, here are these growing pains in the industry and the like. And I was just watching a video about, how E3 is more or less gone. Is that going to come back? Does it even make sense for that to come back? I don't know. And that's honestly, that one hit me the hardest. I've attended E3, some of the best moments of my life, literally. Like, because my whole life I wanted to go to E3. To actually be there when they make those huge reveals, or like, especially Infinite, that first Infinite, that you were like, oh, is this Tomb Raider? What are these animals? And then it's, and you're like, oh my God, it's Halo. And everybody freaks out, and you feel the energy of the crowd. And that's gone. And that really hit me. Oh God, it's a whole new world, man. Been a lot of rambling here. I think the point that I'm just trying to get across, that has been honestly quite difficult to articulate, is the feeling of, growing up with an industry, with a franchise, with these characters that are so not only beloved to you as entertainment and media, but core to your identity. I can say that about myself. And Halo's core to my identity. It is, of course. So, you treat it like a child sometimes. You're like, I can't, why did you do this? Why did you do this, 343, to my baby? And just seeing Master Chief in a different environment, in another kind of old game, 2015 Rainbow Six Siege. That's still given. What a unique, great game. Love Siege. But at some point, when franchises are big enough, the vibe changes, and we get excited about new IP and new franchises, new takes. And that's not a bad thing. I think it helps ground us. It helps us compare. It's just so weird. It's such a weird feeling, all of this, that we have grown up. These characters have grown up. People watching my channel have grown up. There theoretically are people watching this right now here that have been subscribed to me since 2007. That is possible. And I don't have a prescription for this, for these feelings, for this discussion. I just have wisdom that I want to apply to myself and also impart onto you, is to just step back sometimes and just reframe how you think about things, because there are a lot of growing pains and weird feelings of getting older that will just never change. When we play Halo 12 or whatever, it's going to be the Halo cycle all over again, right? Oh no, Infinite was actually really good. Or, it's that whole cycle is so funny to me. And it's funny because it's human psychology, right? New generations are growing up and everyone has a different experience of these games and the like. Anywho, really excited to see what's next for Master Chief from Rainbow Six Siege.